We're doing a mock draft. It's head-to-head. It's category leagues. It's 12 teams. We are putting in a third-round reversal because that's what Michael Bolton asked for.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and I just want milk that tastes like real milk. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_Beeble, on TikTok, at redrock_Beeble, and on Instagram, at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We're available on all platforms, so thumb it and double and bang and comment and all that stuff. We're here to do a mock draft. It is, as I said, 9 categories, 12 teams. I'm picking at number 9. Got a mix of analysts and Twitter followers in here as well. We are doing third round reversal in this one. I look forward to it. We're going to talk. Yeah, we'll see how it all goes. I haven't done a category league head-to-head mock draft for a few weeks now, so let's get back in and do another one. First of all, today's episode is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience are the things that bring you championships. It's the formula for winning championships, in fact, and eBay Motors knows that. And they also know that they've got everything they need for you to not only maintain your vehicle, but to upgrade it, to level it up. Exhaust kits, bumpers, superchargers, roof racks, LED headlights, speed, power, or style, whatever it is, eBay Motors is going to have you covered. One of the best things, though, is the old mate eBay guaranteed fit. Because if the part doesn't fit your car, and they've got a lot of parts, 120 million plus, it's a lot. If it doesn't fit your car, you get your money back. That is the guaranteed part. Because with eBay Motors, you are burning rubber and not cash. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay guaranteed fit is only available to US customers. Today's episode is also brought to you by BetterHelp. As kids, we know that curiosity is one of the big things that drives us. We like learning new things. We want to know about things. It keeps us active and bubbling. But as adults, that sort of dulls away. Well, with BetterHelp and therapy, you can help rediscover your back-to-school era. Get that curiosity flowing. Because sometimes we can be stuck in a rut. We go to work, we do this, we go, what am I going to do? So boring, nothing changes. Which is true. Life can be mundane and monotonous. But learning new things, creating new things, is a great way of getting you and your life sort of back on track. And therapy can be a great way to help you discover that. So, if you've been thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's online. It's flexible. Schedule, do whatever you need with it. You fill out a questionnaire about what you need and what you want. They match you with a therapist. Easy go. Bang. If it doesn't work, well, you know what happens? They just give you a new therapist to try out. Because you've got to have that connection and that rapport with a therapist for it to work out. So, go and rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/LockedOnNBA today to get 10% off your first month. That is BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, so we're getting ready to get this thing kicked off. Let's move into the draft room. Get ready to start this draft. I said I'm picking at number 9. We'll see how this all goes. All right, I'll just unpause this draft and off we go. Let's see how it goes here. At pick number 1, let's see what we're going to get out of this. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. It's going to be Wemby. I'm pretty sure. Case, I know you're there. I can see you're in green. Let's make the pick. There we go. Wembanyama off the board. And it's going to be Jokic. I'll be very, very surprised if there are any drafts where we don't get Wemby and Jokic going in those first 2 selections. Has anyone had a draft where they haven't gone in those spots? Doncic at 3, so obviously no care about the 2-game playoff week, which is totally your prerogative. I think we're going to get the usual top 6 here with Brazil SFC. I know you've been in the room. Don't auto-pick me. It'll be Shea, it'll be Giannis, it'll be AD, I'm thinking, with Dan at 6. So Dan's at 6, Karan is at 7, and they're the analysts in this draft along with me at 9. What is this guy doing? Oh my God, I'm going to redo this pick. All right. Let's pause the recording and find out what this clown's up to. All right, he's allegedly back and ready to go. So, yeah, take 2. Picks wasn't loading. Oh, that's fine. Just make the pick. We're good. You got 17 seconds left. Don't time out again. I'm sure he's going to take Shea anyway. Like I've said, I'm somewhat skeptical of how Shea... Is he going to do anything? Oh, there we go. Shea goes. I'm somewhat skeptical of Shea being this level, but again, I don't really know who's clearly better. Dylan takes Giannis and Dan takes Davis. That is a very clear top 6. Curran at 7. I actually have no idea what I'm going to do. He goes Halliburton, who probably would have been my pick, to be honest. What do I do? I think I'll take Trey if it comes down to that. Let's see what Dayrock does. Unless he takes Trey, and then I won't enjoy that. He didn't. He took Embiid, so I'm going to take Trey at pick 9. I think I got Trey at pick 12 in my last mock. It's just a weird spot of a draft. Like, I don't love Tatum there. I don't love LaMelo there. I mean, I would like LaMelo there. I just don't think it's going to work for me. Tatum goes at 10. LaMelo goes at 11. Well, that is ballsy. LaMelo goes at 11. Wow. All right. Now we're rolling. LaMelo at 11 is interesting. And Tennessee Shiners picking at 12 now. So now, who would we go? Like, probably Steph. I'm sure he's going to take Durant. I wouldn't. Even Steph can be iffy. Harden should be in the mix here. So Sabonis needs to go there. Oh, he took Harden. That's intriguing. Harden goes at 12. I think Sabonis also makes sense here. I can see Ant going here. Like, I'll continue to pump this idea into people, is that we can talk about how we don't love the picks in the second rounds because they're all third round type of guys. And yeah, that's sort of how the fantasy world works. Unfortunately, with the valuations of these players, the reason you feel like they're third round players is because their value is a third round player in comparison to the top of the first round. So we just got to get over that. And is the best way to get over it through talking about it? I don't know. It is a hard mindset to break. Devin Booker goes at 13. This guy took LaMelo in round 1. What does he do in round 2? If he takes Kawhi, I don't know what I'm going to do about it. Steph. Okay. It's my pick. I probably should make one then, shouldn't I? So I think that I might pump blocks and take Sabonis here. That getting Sabonis at that pick, I'm very happy with that. I think it's a good spot. So I got him at pick 16. Edwards actually went in between. So I went Booker, Curry, Ant Edwards, Sabonis, Chet Holmgren next. Feels early. Curran takes Lillard to go with Halliburton, so he's going small, obviously. I think Dan won't take Kawhi. I think he might go with... I don't know what Dan will do here. Durant he'll take. Dan will take Durant. Guaranteed. 100% KD is going here. Write it in right now, Dan. You're not even... You haven't made your pick, but 100% write it in. He takes LeBron James. Now, I will need to ask him what... Because I thought he was more in on KD than that. That is unbelievably intriguing. Dan Ewell Besbris Jr. Wow. KD's got to go here. Again, I have some concerns. I tweeted this out yesterday because... Scotty Barnes goes. Because the drop-off of KD last season was there, and it sort of flew under the radar. And in the 1,000 minutes that he, Booker, and Beal shared the court, KD had the lowest assist rate of those three. He had a usage of under 25%, and he had the lowest effective field goal percentage of those three guys. That doesn't mean that all that stuff necessarily continues, but it sort of gives us an explanation of why Durant's numbers fell in the second half of the season. It's when Beal and Booker were more available. So I don't know. But anyway, Buzelis takes Durant there at... That's not actually Buzelis, I'm sure. Pick 21. I think Dan didn't mean to take LeBron, but oh well. He got him. Kyrie goes next. That is Kobe 08, Bryant 24. Terrible username. Let's begin with that. That is a and I think you might be the early candidate for main character of this draft. That is a horrible... I'll talk about pairings and my thought that you don't have to focus on pairings that much. You just need to avoid the bad ones, and that is as bad as it gets. You cannot make the pairing pick of Doncic and Kyrie because of that 2-game playoff week. You can't. Otherwise, I've actually no problem with it. If it was a roto format, absolutely no problem with it. In fact, Kyrie's way better than that in roto. In a head-to-head category, like, you cannot make that pairing. You can't do it. That is, for picking number 3, you have made yourself have zero chance of winning the championship, I think. Don Mitchell at 23. Mitchell can go at 12 in some drafts. I wouldn't, but he can. And then Paul George goes at 24. Then we go back to third round reversal. So Kawhi starts off round 3. So he's got Harden, Booker, Kawhi. Şengün. All right. It's coming back up to me now, so I need to work out what I'm going to do in this spot. I would have taken PG there. Now I'm sitting there going, like Fred VanVleet staring at me. DeJounte Murray's Bam goes. DeJounte Murray is an option. Is there a big, though, that I can take here? At pick 28, 18 seconds. Don't want Markin in here. Not really big on Brunson. I might take... Do I take Fox? I've been taking VanVleet a lot. I think I just might take Fox. I probably should have gone with VanVleet there, but I've just taken him in a few different spots, so I want to try something a little bit different. I could have also considered Jalen Brunson and Cade Cunningham in that position as well. So Brunson goes the pick after me at pick 30. And now let's see what Karan does after going with Halliburton and Lillard to start things off. Ooh, he goes with the Bronco, Jalen Williams, at pick 31. I like it. I think that's really, really solid. I reckon Dan might have done that, might have gone that way. Dan's going to take VanVleet here. I got it wrong last time, but I reckon he's going to take VanVleet. I shouldn't have too many questions about that. But if he doesn't, I'm just going to throw a couple of names into the queue here. Throw Jalen Johnson in there. Evan Mobley is going to be a big target of mine. Oh, he takes Cade. Now Dan... Are you the same person? Because I can't really think that you would have taken Cade there. Dan. Just a different side of the big fella, Dan Vesbus. Maybe he's the main character of this draft. Let's see what Kobe Bryant does next. If he takes Dwight Powell, then I'm out. Dylan Senf. Ooh, he took Mobley. That's annoying. VanVleet sliding. So I could have taken VanVleet where I took Fox, and I did have him valued probably slightly higher. I wanted to try something a bit different, get a little bit more scoring in there after Sabonis's lower scoring numbers. Well, there goes VanVleet there. That's a good pick. As much as Bazalis, I clowned you at the start for missing that Shea pick. Durant, not certain on him, but whatever. That's fine at that spot, and VanVleet there is pretty good as well. Let's see what my man Kobe 08 Bryant 24 does. Well, Dan clicked the wrong pick, he's claiming, for Cunningham. Wow, no wonder. Jaren Jackson goes next. All right, that's solid enough. That's pretty good. Now I've got 2 more picks to round out round 3. And given that I am punting blocks, I do need to make... It's going to sound weird, but I do need to make sure I get another big man really soon. Because often when we look at punting situations, we go, well, we've just got to load up on strong categories, and that's true, you do. But you can usually start to do that 5-6 rounds onwards. And you've got to get those other categories that are synergistic with the category that you're punting early on. So Tyrese Maxey at 36. Now, I might be a little bit down on Maxey this season in terms of the value that others think he's necessarily going to bring. I don't think I expected him to fall that far. And I think there's a little bit of value here in DeJounte Murray as well. And I don't know how the Pelicans are going to go. And I thought my projections for DeJounte would actually be pretty bad this season. But they're actually really good, even though I don't have him scoring much. I've got his rebounds going up. I've got his assists going up. And I think that's enough to push him. Like, I don't even have him as a 20-point-per-game scorer, DeJounte, this season. Yet I still have him projected relatively highly. DeJounte Murray does go next. Or Towns goes, at 37. DeJounte goes at 38. So I really like that DeJounte pick. I think that's a strong one. Now we get into the zone where I think Ja Morant's in the mix. I'm surprised. Oh, Zion goes. Like it. I'm surprised Jalen Johnson hasn't gone. It's really interesting. I thought everyone would be super into Jalen Johnson this season, but I projected him, and I projected him pretty well, around this range. And someone asked a question today on Basketball Monster, how sure are you that Jalen's going to see an increased usage? He wasn't that high in usage last season. And I thought, I just thought it was going to be a universal idea that he was going to jump way up and be huge, but apparently it's not. So that's an interesting development. Well, there he goes, Jalen Johnson. We talked, Zion went at 39, Morant went at 40, and Jalen Johnson at 41, which probably is good value. We're moving into the zone where Emmanuel Quickley is becoming a play. I don't think that I will take quickly. If I can get him back around in round 5, I will. We're also getting into the area where punting blocks. Remember, Julius Randle will make a ton of sense for me. He'll make a ton of sense. Desmond Bain goes at 42. Jimmy Butler at 43. Karan. Quickly is sitting like really clearly up the top here for me. Jamal Murray goes, what do I do? Or is this a punting blocks? I take Paolo Banchero. Or do I just take New York Paolo Banchero in Julius Randle? Or do I take Pascal Siakam? No, I don't take him. I'm going to take Julius Randle here. If I can get the clock to work. What am I doing? Far out. I just got that in. Holy crap. All right, wanted to get some scoring, wanted to boost my rebounds. Decent assists out of a big man. I'm okay with the blocks. I'll get some steals and assists coming through in the next couple of picks. But I needed to boost those rebounds up there. And now I'm like going to have some of the worst blocks in the league. Now, punt blocks is going to be a viable strategy this year. We know that it's always a viable strategy because of the way that blocks are hyper-concentrated. Now, last season, blocks were less hyper-concentrated because we got the addition of multiple big block big men, big minutes for Gafford, the introduction of Wemby, the introduction of Chet. That sort of stays the same this season. So, like, again, don't think that punt blocks is this new idea. It has been around and has been viable for a long time. You might be in a situation where people go so hard into punting blocks, though, where they go, I didn't get Wemby, I have to punt blocks, that it's going to be really easy for you to just be the second best team in blocks and win that every other week. So after Randall goes Turner, then goes Siakam, and then quickly in Garland. I was hoping to get one of those blokes to slide back to me, but I obviously did not. I might actually, well, Derek White is going to be in the mix here for me. Banchero is. I probably should just start getting a queue together because I'm going to start like, or did Paolo just go? Yeah, he did. Paolo went, Jaylen Brown went. They're at the top of my list. I was going to do 3 Kings, but I'm not going to do that. That sounds like a song. I'm going to take Derek White here. Am I? Oh, I don't love it though. Yeah, I am. Let's wind that down. Am I going to take Derek White? No. Yes. No. All right, I'll take Derek White. I know he gets value from his blocks. That's not why I want him. It's good shooting. It's good free throws. It's steals. It's assists. I wanted one of those other guys, and that timer got to me. Miles Bridges, I think that is too early for Miles Bridges. Let's start to work on an actual queue here because I've got DeRozan would have made sense for me, and I would have taken Brown and Banchero were the 2 guys I wanted, and they went 2 picks before me. So I actually don't. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't like that Derek White pick. I'm going to throw some names into my queue. I'm going to put Jordan Poole in there because I do want to get him. I want to put Bradley Beal in there because I want to get those guys late. I am going to put the Thig Hogsman, Tobias Harris in there. Put him into my queue. DeAndre Ayton goes, that's early for DeAndre. Whew. I don't mind it, Karan. DeMar DeRozan goes there. Just in case you're listening at this point of the show, yes, I know that your questions are going to be, is the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Bowl happening? Yeah, it is. We announced it like the 13th of September last season. So it's going to start getting that stuff out around that same time this year as well. The format's going to be relatively the same. I don't imagine there's going to be much change to it. We'll see. Like I don't think, I'm still working through that. Karan's going to be helping me with the organization and commissioning of it this season. It's going to be like very much similar to Locked On Fantasy Bowl to last season. So after Ayton, who went at pick, what number was that? 54. We went with DeRozan to Bezbris at 55, Gobert at 56, and Jarrett Allen at 57. It's the centers. There they go. Franz Wagner goes at 58. That's much better than taking him in the 40s. Chris Middleton, I'm not taking Chris Middleton yet, but he's going to be intriguing. Ooh, there goes Tobias. Again, people are telling you, man, Tobias is going to be a great pick in the 90s. It's never going to happen. He's never going to go there. People have irrational hate for what Tobias Harris brings for fantasy. Brandon Miller is a very good pick case. He would have been very much in my target zone, heading back to my next pick. Very much. No idea what Obi's yelling out there, if you can hear him. I don't know if you can. So Brandon Miller finishes off round 5. At the moment, my team is not projecting super strong, but I do have a really specific way that I'm looking at it, and this is where, when you are looking at a punt build, like 6 through 10 are the rounds where you really start to make more sense. So don't be like, if you're looking at ever projected standings and you see yourself down, especially when you're picking at the back end of a draft, which is where I think punting comes more into it. If you see yourself down the bottom of a standings, don't worry. You should start to push things up towards the back end of these drafts. So after Claxton goes Duran. I think a lot of people think that Duran going at 62 is a little low. I think it's probably fair. I am not fully convinced that Duran's role is rock solid. Like I've said a couple of times, if they are not playing Isaiah Stewart at power forward, then he is playing exclusively at center, and I'm not convinced he is an 18-minute only a night player. That's my worry there. So Josh Giddey goes with this Kobe 08 Bryant 2014, which is a really interesting team. Devin Vassell goes next. He's really solid in this range. And then we go to Dylan. Then we go the analyst run of Dan and Curran after that. So the top of my list is Beal, Poole, Levine, guys that people hate, obviously. And I can probably let slide a little bit down, because I don't need to get them at this pick 69 is going to be mine. Giggity. Hartenstein, another one who will be in the mix for me, because I do need to bring... I actually can... Well, there goes Mikal Bridges. You know who actually fits for me? Someone who I don't like, as you're well aware. I might actually snag Vooch. Now, I get the feeling that Curran might take him here. But I think Vooch might be my guy. Just get some rebounds, lock some rebounds in, and then we hit some of these guards like your Poole, Beal. He took Levine. Okay. Dayrock, just if you can leave the other Bulls dickhead alone, I will take him to prove that I don't hate him. I really am regretting that Derek White pick, though. I really am regretting it. Maybe I should have taken Jarrett Allen there, or even Toby Harris or Brandon Miller. I really am regretting that Derek White pick. Mark Williams goes. All right. I will take Vooch here. I will take Vooch at pick 69. I'm good with that. And now I've got Poole, Beal, Russell. D'Angelo Russell. Again, hatred for those guys is high. So I'm hoping that they can slide back to me. It's also getting into Cam Thomas territory. Now, which one of those guys can get me steals, if anyone? Not really. Anyone is there? Because my steals do need some work. So Anunoby is going to come into the mix for me soon. Kobe White goes. Whatever. Like I'm not massive into him there. I think Poole is going to be my target round 7, which is at pick 76. Although Beal is appealing there, so is Russell. Could I possibly get... No, I couldn't. I couldn't get Russell 76 and get Poole 93. That won't happen, will it? So Cam Thomas goes at 72. Well, there goes Beal. At 73, that is good value. That's a good one. Hartenstein 74, I like that a lot. 73, actually. Hartenstein, Beal 72. Poole and Russell, my queue just got cooked. I'm going to put Simons into my queue. That doesn't obviously help me with steals. Trey Murphy is also going to be a big target of mine. I'm just not really sure where to go. Oh, Kuzma. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not really sure where to go with Trey here. And Nurk is the other one that I'm going to slide into the queue. Oh, it's my pick. Ingram went. Poole or Russell, Poole or Russell, Poole or Russell. Let's take Jordy Poole. So I don't have a small forward eligible player yet. So we need to address that. 3 more starters to pick. Anunoby's going into my queue. I'd like to get him. I would like to get Trey Murphy. They can fill out that small forward spot. Did Trey just go? You're joking, Dayrock. And Nurk just went, Q is getting cooked. Damn it. D'Angelo Russell goes to Besbris. Dan, that is a good one for me. I'm guessing you didn't screw that one up. Nurkic. Oh, man, look at that. Look at my queue just get cooked there. Murphy, Nurkic, Russell. Cannot say that I'm impressed. I mean, I am, from saying that they did well. How do you guys feel my voice is holding up after a night at the footy screaming because we got pumped? And our season's over. Anunoby. It's interesting because Anunoby's ADP and rank on other sites outside the top 100. This is a really strong range for him. Jalen Suggs could work for me. So I do need to get steals. But I need scoring too. Scoring and steals. Does the combo exist? Not really. Pajemski is absolutely going to be in my queue as well because he might be someone who helps a little. Not really with scoring though, is he? That's very early for Porzingis. I am cooking this guy again. Kobe 08, Bryant 24. You can't take Doncic, Kyrie together and then take Porzingis in round 7. That's bad, man. Again, everyone each to their own. Porzingis in round 7 is not a good idea at all. Although, to be fair, like Porzingis missing the start of the season, back at the end, and that's when the issues with Kyrie and Luka come in, so it's maybe not that bad. Drew Holiday goes at 83, and Jabari Smith at 84, which Jabari Smith at 84 feels okay, but I'm not loving that. I think Chris Middleton is going to be in play for me, helps my small forward eligibility. Who was my other small forward guy that got taken? Anunoby and Trey. Absolutely dicked. Kuminga is another bucket for me. Helps the score. Who's this guy? Grayson Bakamanya. So when you type in "come," that's what comes up. Good to know. I'll stick CJ and Keegan in there. Don't love them. Brook Lopez at 86. Don't like him in the 70s. Maybe slightly early, but we all have to again remember the values here are all squished. They're all okay. They're all fine. Draymond Green sliding a little bit. I think he should have possibly gone already, Draymond, but I get why he hasn't, and he doesn't really fit exactly what I'm trying to do, so I won't be taking him. Jakob Poeltl. Yeah, that's a good pick. I like that. After a couple of your mistakes, I like that pick. Or mistakes, what I call mistakes. Guys that I do want to get late again to really help me build out what I'm looking for is Scooter and the speaker, Keontae George. I almost typed it in as keynote. Pip Cookie, Michael Porter goes at 88, then Rowan Barrett at 99. 89, sorry. Pretty solid as well. I really like, where am I getting my steals? Steals and points. Let's try and figure out who that guy is. Maybe you've got an idea in the... It's not really looking good. Steals and points. Bogdanovic. Probably too early. Bogdanovic will be a target for me. Oh, Kuminga went. How annoying are you, Karan? So Reeves goes, then Kuminga. So Pajemski, too early for Pajemski at 93. What's my pick? Keegan Murray went. Is this too early for Chris Middleton? I don't think so. 93, let's do it. Need a small forward. Middleton 93, bang. Pods on the way back around, or McCullum on the way back around, or one of the guards on the way back around. Or is my scoring good enough that I can take a Suggs / Caruso? Let's put Alex into the queue. Let's put Jalen into the queue. Zubats, like that. Good pick. Strong pick. Zubats, I think, is going to have a really strong season. I'll put Kessler into the queue as well, even though he's... what am I going to do? No, he's a box guy. I don't want him. Zubats goes at 94. Bogdan, not Bojan. I really don't know what the hell to make of Bojan Bogdanovic this season. He's in Brooklyn, if you weren't aware. He's back in Brooklyn. Brooklyn, there's him, there's Bogdanovic, there's Finney Smith, there's Cam Johnson. Are they going to play? Like, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Why is everyone sitting on their ass for so long? Klay Thompson at 95? No, that is a strong no for me. And Lou just said, I hated that. And I said, yep, so did I. That's way too early. Nah, not in on it. CJ, Bogdan. Well, CJ's gone, so I'm not taking CJ. He went at 96. That is good value for CJ. Rozier is an option. Well, obviously Herb Jones is going to be a steals guy for me, but I think it's Bogdan that I want here. I've got a decent selection of guys that I feel, I'm at 100 and 117. I feel like somewhat confident they get back. Jonas Valanciunas at 97. He just said, don't even comment on it. Too late, my guy. Klay Thompson pick, already commented on, done. Yeah, Bogdan will be my target. I'm surprised no one's taken Jalen Green yet. I'm going to throw him in the queue, JIC. Yeah, this is really not... I'm not super happy with how this team is going. Denny Abdia. There goes Jalen Green. Well, let's do Bogdan here at pick 100. He had really high steals last season. He shot well. He should see more usage. I'll take Bogdan there. Always be careful of which Bogdanovic you're taking. Oh, yeah, look, Dylan says that this guy Lou's taken Siakam, Paolo, Cam Thomas, and Kuzma. Yeah, that is a type. That is, we do not care about defensive stats, and efficiency is going to be a problem. Rozier goes 101. Curran takes Walker Kessler 102. I like Kessler there. I didn't realize that Dan took Reeves and Russell and LeBron and Davis. 4 Lakers. People ask me how many players from one team is too many. I think 4 might be it, Dan. Then he takes Okongwu. Okongwu is getting drafted behind Capella in most drafts, and he should not be. That is maybe early, but it's not bad. It's actually, I'm pretty excited about Okongwu. Draymond goes next. I think that's really good value for you there, Dylan, to get Draymond at 104. If Draymond gets suspended again, he's done, yeah? That's it for him, surely. It feels like it is. Buzalis takes the Baptist John Collins. I am just out on John Collins. I'm out. If you want to take him in round 12, go for it. I'm not doing that there. I wonder how aggressive I should get on my flyer types in this draft. Because you freak. So Scoot goes there at 106. So second year guards are usually what's the term? It's like a term, some sort of a market, untapped market. No, it's the wrong word. It's something. But that's usually a great spot to target players. Second year guards. They always tend to go or be ranked 20, 30, 40, 50 spots below what their value... Oh, Jalen Suggs. What their value should be. Okie dokie. Chris Paul. Yeah, that's good. That's strong. So now we're heading into round 10, which is, to me, the real upper limit of super flyers. When you get towards the end, like where I am, but more so where Lou and Tennessee Shiners are, if you pick it in round 10 as your last starter or round 11, it doesn't really matter. If there's a guy that you want as a last round flyer pick and you think you want to have him, do it there, that's okay. I wouldn't do it at this spot here where Case takes Caruso. Now, he has got a huge hit to his points by taking Paul and Caruso there. They're not high scorers, but bringing some defensive stats is obviously what he's doing. So the odds of Podziemski and George getting back to me feel pretty low. Herb Jones goes, okay. I will also be very much involved in drafting Amen Thompson, who sort of fits that last round, but it's round 11 through 14 flyer. You don't want every one of those picks necessarily to be a flyer, but you want a couple of them to be. And I think we can do a little creep into the back end of round 10 with that. Because, I think that where I'm sitting there, the 9th pick in round 10, is probably the earliest you want to really start to lean into flyer territory. Nas Reed in round 10, I don't get it. I don't get it for this season. What is Nas bringing us that deserves a pick there? Please, someone explain it. Nas Reed was a guy that I loved as an undrafted player. Thought it was ridiculous he didn't get drafted. I love what he produced. He's been really solid, but I don't get him there at all. Men Thompson went, you absolute dickhole, and then goes Podziemski. Oh, I think goes Gafford. No, I didn't want Gafford. And then goes George. He's all what is God? Okay. Reassess. This might be. Oh, you absolute assholes. Is this Derek Lively for me? Is it Dyson Daniels? It's too early for Dyson Daniels. No, you know what? Let's just do the easy thing. Let's just take Mike Conley there. Get the value pick at 117. Fuck, all those guys just went. All right, I'm going to throw Andrew Wiggins, who somehow is turning into a flyer pick. I'm going to put my man Carlo Matkovic in the queue. I'm going to put my man Asar Thompson in the queue. So after Conley went Smart and then Jackson Davis, well, the Jackson Davis is a nice flyer. I'm going to put Taylor Hendricks. Well, I can't spell today. Taylor Hendricks is going to go in the queue. Why can I not spell? You know what? I'm pushing the button. It's not working. That's why. Jackson Davis, then Cam Johnson. Gerald Henderson mentioned. Asar Thompson goes at the start of round 11, pick 121. So that's someone out of my queue. Throw Derek Lively in there. Jeremy Grant will actually work for me here. When do we... Yeah. My rebounds just took a giant hit. So who's my rebound guy here? Rebounds. Horf? Sohan. Or PJ. It's not Jeremy Grant. I know that much. Well, Derek Lively goes. Zach Edey goes. PJ? Sohan. All right, let's take Jeremy Sohan there. A little bit of a flyer. Relatively solid role. Helps me with the rebounds, which started to really hurt there. I got really strong assists, really strong free throws at over 82%. My field goals for a team that's punting them, sitting at 47, is pretty good. My steals could do some work. My assists are good. My rebounds are good-ish. My points are good. My threes are good. Yeah, okay. Curran took Dyson Daniels. Jeremy Grant went. That's actually, I don't mind the spot for Jeremy Grant. I just wanted some rebounds. So after Sohan went Grant, then it was Dyson Daniels. You are getting into Shaden Sharp territory. Clint Capella won't be for me, and DiVincenzo will work for me as well. Dan took Mitch Robinson. So Dan went real punt free throw with the last two picks, Gafford and Robinson. Now he's got DeRozan and Bane early on to help, but I do think that his free throws are going to be poor. Oh, no, they're actually not bad. Good balance. After Robinson goes Aaron Gordon, Clint Capella, Shaden Sharp. So, we knew where those guys were sort of sitting. What happened to Dan's free throws now? Oh, he's about the same as me, actually. Oh, no, that's only updated through round 10. So Alex Sarr goes. Don't mind it. Take the Flyers. Oh, that reminds me that I might throw a Ricochet just into my queue. And the other one who might go into my queue is Brogdon for early season. Hey, what is that? I am just all over the shop with my keyboard skills today. So Al Horford goes to end round 11. I like it. John Isaac at 12. Having those two together is not what I would want. That's a lot of rested games. But as a isolated players in this area, that's fine. But that is a lot of rested games. Let's see I want to check what happened to Dan's free throws after adding Mitch Robinson now. I got him at, dropped him from like 82 projected to 80. Big hit. Kelly Olynyk. I don't get it with Olynyk this season. I don't get it. As much as we love Kelly Olynyk, I don't even know that that's flyer up. So I don't like a sit on someone to hope for an injury. This is also Tyus Jones territory. Someone's got to take him. And while I am down on Jones, this is too late. He should have gone easily by now. Why is everyone passed on him? Like Andrew Nembhard, Kelly Olynyk, John Isaac before Tyus Jones is insane to me. As much as I am not that big on Tyus this season. Well, there he goes. Dylan, that's unbelievable theft from you. What else? That Nembhard pick, I don't get that at all. Is this guy Canadian? Maybe that's why I don't like any of his picks. Maybe that's why. Taylor Hendricks goes. KCP goes. Yeah, of course, Dan took KCP. Taylor Hendricks to Curran. I'm going to take Wiggins here. I know that's not necessarily a fly, but it is. Andrew Wiggins in round 13 is a flyer. He was bad, but I'm okay with that. Oh, it's Josh's pick. Tari Eason goes. All right, let's take Wiggins. In the past, Wiggins has gotten steals. He's also one of the weirdest players to ever figure out. I feel like stuff is just changing all the time with him. So after Wiggins goes DiVincenzo. Be interesting to see whether anyone takes Josh Hart or Bobby Portis or Grayson Allen, guys who were productive last season whose role is not there this year. Oh, the prestige penis. Grade A dick goes. I wouldn't I got no problem with taking Dick, giggity. Very receptive to Dick at this point. I mean, not even, but like I'm not sure that he's actually a high upside player, even though I think the minutes will be there. Melton, fine. Allen, no thanks. So that's the end of round 12. D'Anthony Melton, Grayson Allen started round 13. Melton will probably play his 26 minutes. Will be frustrated every night, hoping he does more, as is written in scripture. So who is I haven't really done flyery stuff, have I? Sohan, Wiggins, Conley, not really. There goes Ricochet. Well, he was my flyer. Ben Simmons, okay. So who's my guy here? Do I take Carlo? Do I take Ivy? I'm going to try Jaden Ivy. And I am not super convinced, but that is just me having a swing. That's having a swing. Just to see. Maybe the new coach hates him. Maybe he likes him. I don't know. I do not believe that Ivy is actually worth this value. Just also to be clear. Much like I don't think Sarah's worth that round 11 pick. I don't think Dyson Daniels is worth a round 11 pick. I don't think Sohan is. I don't think Edie is. I don't think Eason or Hendricks is. I don't think Nembhard is, even though I don't think he's got much upside. But this is what this part is about. Brogdon I like there. TJ McConnell. Dan really building a team to say, well, this is how my team looks. And those numbers will fill out nicely. But I think in the end, when it comes to head-to-head, those guys will have to be dropped to move on from other guys. Bazelis, of course you took Mudders Bazelis. Of course you did. Well, his Bazelis FC. Actually, I would have been annoyed if you didn't. I don't mind a Westbrook pick there in round 13. I think he's going to play more than people expect. I think it's going to make Denver worse, but I think he's going to play more than people expect. But their bench is also bad. Jalen Pickett is terrible. Christian Brown's not as good as you think. Julian Strouder, maybe, but I don't know. I think their bench is bad. Let's see what my man Kobe 08 Bryant 24 does. Jaime Jaquez, okay. He probably needs an injury to be super relevant, but the good thing is Jimmy Butler will get injured. Kobe 08 Bryant 24, the big fella. Look at this list of names from when I typed in IVE, where I've got Iverson Molinar. Who is that? Sounds like a baseball player. Bilal Koulibaly goes at 155. Second-year guards on top. Dennis Schroeder is surprisingly available. I do not like Dennis Schroeder, but that's nice. Obviously, I've got Carlo as my big man guy that I'm going to grab. Peyton Watson, wow, there is no way that is crazy to me. Peyton Watson. I know people will look at this and go, he's listed as a shooting guard, Josh. The man has not played a single second at shooting guard. He is a power forward who plays small ball center. I don't know why he's listed as a shooting guard. To me, he has absolutely zero chance of replacing KCP's minutes. Zero. I like him a lot. Tons. I've been a Peyton Watson guy since about the first game I saw him. Actually, I hated him through the draft process. Those numbers made no sense. And I watched the first couple of games and the NBA went, oh no, here we go. This is interesting. In fact, straight after that rookie season, before the playoffs, me and Matt Lawson talked about going, we're in here. This is a big dynasty upside guy. But that's what I don't know. Klingon goes at 14. Steph Castle, or it's not 14, Castle goes 159. Klingon 158. Dan says he's surprised one particular name is still there. Let's see who it is. Josh Hart goes at 160. Which, as much as I'm not big on him, I like that. Maybe I think Dan's talking Bud Hield. Drummond goes at 161. Good backup plan. Noah Clowney. That's the upside pick I should actually put into my. I'm big on Clowney. Should have had him there. Kevin Porter. I think he's going to be suspended. It's probably going to be like 10 games. That Drummond pick was Ben Mathurin. Okay, don't really see that. So do I? Okay, just so you're aware. Again, Makovic is my last round pick. The guy that I like here. But I'm just going to take Dennis Schroeder because I just don't think that we're at pick 165. It doesn't make sense that he's not drafted. So let's just take Dennis Schroeder there. Again, that's like the Ivy is the flyer. Schroeder is the what are we doing here pick. Yeah, interesting stuff. All right, so that's my team done. I'm not gigantically happy with it, to be honest. It is hard picking from down there. I probably don't have enough rebounds now, which is frustrating. So maybe that Makovic pick would have made more sense. But again, your season is not done through the draft. That is 20% of your year. So don't be like, you're not locked into that spot. Nothing like that. There goes Lonzo Ball. All right. Don't think that's going to work out. Buddy Hield undrafted is. Oh, there you go. Lou took my man Carlo. There you go. Good. All right. That's the draft over. Don't love this draft from me. Didn't quite pan out where I wanted it to. My team isn't as strong as I want it to be at all. So let's talk about what my team is. It's Trae Young, it's Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, Julius Randle, Derek White. Don't like that pick. Vooch, Jordan Poole, Chris Middleton, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Mike Conley, Jeremy Sohan, Andrew Wiggins, Jaden Ivey, and then Dennis Schroeder in the final round. It's an okay team. It's not the best team, but that's okay. We move. All right, so I'm trying to work out the projected standings. I'll tell you, like the regular sort of projected standings has Aim High sitting up the top, followed by Case, Buzalis, Dan, Dayrock, Tennessee Shiners, me, Dylan, Curran, Lou, Kobe Bryant, and Talk to the Swoosh. But remember when I've talked about this in the past and we talk about projected standings, and I talk about how like if you're projected like with 31 blocks for the week and your opponent's got 29, you're projected to win that category, which is just like, it's a toss-up. So we've introduced a new thing at Basketball Monster with our advanced winning percentage where we're trying to put more probabilities into this stuff with variance included. So like, for example, Aim High projects on traditional win projections, using my projections, of course, at a win percentage of 63%. Using our advanced win percentage, he goes down to 53%. So while he looks like he's got the advantage over everyone else, if you make the smart moves, you drop him way down to being an average team. My team's about the same either way. I'm about 50% winning. But there are some variations here. Like Tennessee Shiners, probability drops a lot. Someone like Lou's team, which projects as a 41% win, jumps up to 48 using the advanced number. Because we're looking at probabilities, meaning he's like sort of just behind, but it doesn't take much. An injury here, an added play here, a waiver wire move here. The other thing that's intriguing, I would suggest that when we look at, I might just flick it back to my face here. When we look at a season for fantasy, we, in head-to-head format, I would think it's fair to assume that in a head-to-head weekly matchup, 10 starters, 4 bench, you probably have 50 games played. 45 to 50 games played. Yes? That sounds reasonable, I would think. I would say that's relatively reasonable. If we look at, when I suggest to start the playoffs, which is March the 2nd, right, so that is 19 real-life weeks with the understanding that there are 2 smaller weeks or 2 combined weeks in there with the All-Star break and then the in-season tournament, which means it's realistically about 17, let's call it 18, because I think some of those are like a week and a half, 18 full-time weeks before you hit playoffs. Playoffs? All right, about 18 full-time weeks before you hit the playoffs. So where am I going with this? So let's say it's 50 games that you play each week. You got 18 weeks of action. So we're talking about, I'm trying to figure this out in my head. That's about 900 total games played for a season. Yes? Yeah, that's about right. It's about 19 games, 900 games played for a season. All right, the reason I bring that up, so that's about, say 18 weeks, assume 50 games. Even if we make it 45 games, what's 45 there? That's about 100 less. That's like let's say 850 to 900 total games played in the head-to-head season, assuming we're ending our season on March the 2nd, before the playoffs start, which end on March 23rd. So it's 850 or 900 to 950 games total. When I look at all of the projections here for all of these players from this draft, for example, Aim High, the games played projections for his players comes out at 728. Then it's, if I go down the list, 705, 727, 722, 710, 709, 729, 727, 625, 695, 701, 734, 677. So when you look at projected standings, when you look at your team and you look at your draft and how strong you are, understand that there is probably 150 to 200 games that you are going to need to grab from somewhere else, that you are going to need to get off the waiver wire, that you're going to need to accumulate through streaming, through whatever happens, when these players get hurt. When me, who has got Trae Young on my team and I've projected him for 73 games or whatever, and I've got Chris Middleton, who I projected 65 games. So he slides into my IR and I have to get 15, 20 games from somewhere else. So when we look at our total standings, we look at advanced projections in terms of what's the win numbers being more likely because of variance and small differences, versus the fact that even if they use a rough number, say on average we've got 700 games played from our draft, we use 900 for a season, 7 on 9, 77%, meaning 23% of what we do, almost at a bare minimum, 23% of what we do in terms of the games played and the guys on our team are going to be just off the waiver wire. That is huge. That's almost a quarter. Quick maths. 77% from the draft, which can go way lower when someone like let's say I have Trae Young at 73 games and then, knock on wood, he cops an injury and plays 40. Well, there's another 40 games I've got to find from somewhere. So when you're looking at projected standings, when you're looking at your team's strengths, when you're looking at anything that you do, understand that so much of what you do, 25-ish%, is going to be grabbed off the waiver wire. It's going to come during the season from random breakout players. That is how that is going to work. This is not the be-all and end-all. I had someone accuse me today of saying that I like to end my season on March the 23rd because when I play, I like to just do my draft and then have no effort during the season. That's how I like to play. I used to like to draft and then win and make no effort during the season. That's why I want to end the season on March 23rd, which again is just the furthest thing from the truth, because if you know me, you know one thing, I definitely don't put effort in every single day to talk about waiver moves or anything like that. That's just clearly me. I never would put any effort into anything during the season. It's all just about the draft for me. The waiver wire is key. It is massively important. It is 25, probably plus % of what you do for a season. Now, things can change in a roto league. You have games caps on. You games cap it to 40, like the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Bowl will be. And then you got 40 times 18, which is a number that I'm struggling to work out off the top of my head. That is 720. Someone correct me if I'm wrong there. So that's 720. So then that brings it to those guys that you drafted do make up the majority of what you have on your team. And then it just becomes, the waiver wire becomes less of an importance outside of when the injuries strike. But if you're in a league with no waiver wire, with no games cap scenario, you need to be getting 25% production through the wire. So our idea of a top 150 player being useful is not really accurate. We've got to be going 170, 180, 190 because you're going to be using those players. You're going to be adding extra guys in. I hope that maths that I just figured out off the top of my head now actually works out and makes sense, and there's something useful in that for you. Am I coping because my team didn't project as well as I wanted? Maybe. But also it is important. Like, I can look at the projected stands and go, I'm the best, I'm the worst, which doesn't mean much because the gaps can be small. Variance is huge, especially when we're talking head-to-head, and the way that your rules work, games caps or bench sizes or when your playoffs are, determine how much of that changes. That will bring me to the end. I hope this was informative. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me which picks were rubbish. Tell me which picks were great. I'm sure all of mine were terrible. I'm sure they were. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.